Ladies and gentlemen, today I want to talk to you about breaking free from the worry cycle in daily life. It's easy to become trapped in the endless loop of worry, where our minds are constantly racing, filled with doubts, fears, and anxieties about the future. These thoughts consume our energy, leaving us exhausted and disconnected from the present moment. However, breaking free from this cycle is not only possible but essential for living a fulfilled, peaceful life. The first key to breaking free from the worry cycle is acknowledging the presence of worry. Worry often sneaks into our minds disguised as a natural response to life's challenges. However, many of us are unaware of the constant stream of anxious thoughts that occupy our minds. This unconscious cycle of worry consumes us, leaving us overwhelmed, stressed, and disconnected from the present. The first step in breaking this cycle is simply recognizing that we are worrying. Worry thrives on our inability to pause and observe our thoughts. When we are aware of our mental state, we can begin to separate ourselves from the worries. By acknowledging that we are caught in a worrying pattern, we take the first step towards disempowering it. Awareness doesn't mean judging ourselves for worrying. Instead, it's about noticing it without attachment. Once we observe the worry, we begin to realize that it is just a mental habit, not a reflection of reality. This awareness allows us to step back and ask, is this worry serving me in any way? Most often the answer is no. Worry doesn't solve problems, it only amplifies them. It keeps us stuck in an imagined future, robbing us of the ability to act in the present. When we acknowledge worry, we break its hold on us. We can start to see that worrying is a choice and that we don't have to give in to it. Acknowledging worry is the first step in taking back control of our minds, allowing us to shift our focus to the present moment, where we have the power to take positive action. The simple act of recognition is liberating. It is the doorway to freedom from the endless loop of worry. The second key to breaking free from the worry cycle is shifting your focus to the present moment. Worry often pulls us into the future, making us anxious about things that haven't happened yet. Our minds dwell on what might go wrong, what could happen, or what we fear could occur. However, the present moment is the only place where we have the power to act, to find peace, and to experience life as it truly is. When we focus on the future, we disconnect from the only reality we truly have, the now. This disconnect is where worry thrives. The future is uncertain, and no amount of worrying will change its course. Shifting our attention back to the present moment brings us into alignment with what is happening right now. It helps us break free from the prison of our minds, where worry runs rampant, and reconnects us to the reality around us. To shift focus to the present, we need to practice mindfulness. Mindfulness can be as simple as becoming aware of our breath, the sensation of our feet on the ground, or the sounds around us. By tuning into our immediate experience, we begin to detach from the mental chatter that fuels worry. The more we practice this, the more we realize that the present is the only moment where peace and clarity exist. The present moment also holds the potential for action. When we focus on what's happening right now, we can take practical steps to resolve problems. By being present, we empower ourselves to face challenges head-on, instead of letting them overwhelm us with imagined futures. By shifting our focus to the present, we break free from the worry cycle and cultivate a sense of calm, clarity, and control. The third key to breaking free from the worry cycle is embracing acceptance. Worry often arises from our resistance to what is. We resist discomfort, fear, or uncertainty, and this resistance fuels anxiety. By accepting the present moment as it is, we can let go of the struggle that keeps worry alive. Acceptance doesn't mean resignation or passivity. It means acknowledging that some things are beyond our control and allowing them to be without adding mental resistance. When we accept the situation we are in without judgment, we stop amplifying it with negative thoughts. Resistance keeps us trapped in a cycle of worry because it tells our minds that something is wrong and needs to be fixed. Acceptance, on the other hand, helps us recognize that we can't always change circumstances immediately, but we can control how we respond to them. Through acceptance, we move from a place of resistance to one of peace. We recognize that we don't have to fight every challenge. Worry only arises when we try to control or avoid uncomfortable feelings or outcomes. When we accept that discomfort is part of life, we reduce its power over us. Instead of adding layers of worry, we can focus on practical solutions or simply allow ourselves to be with the discomfort. Acceptance doesn't mean inaction, but it frees us from the mental clutter that keeps us stuck. Once we accept the present moment, we stop wasting energy on the uncontrollable, and we direct our focus to what we can change: our thoughts, actions, and responses. This shift in mindset allows us to navigate life with greater ease and less fear. The fourth key to breaking free from the worry cycle is cultivating mindfulness. Mindfulness involves being fully aware of the present moment without judgment or distraction. When we are mindful, we focus on what's happening right now instead of dwelling on past mistakes or future uncertainties. Worrying about the future only takes us away from the present, where we can make choices and take action. Mindfulness allows us to observe our thoughts without identifying with them. Instead of getting lost in worry, we recognize it as a thought passing through our mind, not a reflection of reality. This awareness creates space between ourselves and our thoughts, giving us the power to choose how we respond. By practicing mindfulness, we learn to detach from the mental noise that fuels worry, allowing us to stay calm and centered. One simple practice of mindfulness is focusing on our breath. When we notice the sensation of each inhale and exhale, we anchor ourselves in the present moment. This helps quiet the mind and creates a sense of peace. As we become more mindful, we start to notice how often our minds wander into worry and can gently guide them back to the present. Mindfulness also helps us recognize patterns of worry. By paying attention to our thoughts, we can identify triggers and learn how to respond more effectively. Instead of spiraling into anxiety, we can acknowledge the worry, understand it's just a thought, and return to the present. This practice reduces the power worry has over us and helps us regain control of our minds. Through mindfulness, we can break free from the cycle of worry and experience life with greater clarity and calm. The fifth key to breaking free from the worry cycle is embracing self-compassion. Often worry stems from harsh self-criticism and fear of failure. We believe that worrying about a situation somehow shows care or responsibility, but in reality it only adds stress. Self-compassion involves treating ourselves with the same kindness and understanding we would offer a friend. Instead of criticizing ourselves for worrying or making mistakes, we can acknowledge our imperfections without judgment. When we practice self-compassion, we free ourselves from the harsh inner voice that constantly fuels anxiety. We accept that we are human, and it's natural to feel uncertain or fearful at times. By being kind to ourselves, we reduce the intensity of worry and create space for growth. Instead of spiraling into negative thoughts, we offer ourselves reassurance and support. Self-compassion also involves recognizing that we are not alone in our struggles. Everyone faces challenges and experiences anxiety at times. When we acknowledge this shared human experience, we stop isolating ourselves in fear. Instead of getting lost in worry, we can remind ourselves that it's okay to feel vulnerable and that we can move through it. When we embrace self-compassion, we also take pressure off ourselves to be perfect. We release the need for control, which is often at the root of worry. By accepting that things won't always go as planned, we become more resilient and less fearful of the future. This mindset shift allows us to approach life with a sense of ease and confidence, knowing that whatever happens, we can handle it with kindness and understanding. The sixth key to breaking free from the worry cycle is letting go of the need for control. Worry often arises from our desire to control outcomes and avoid uncertainty. We fear what might happen, and our minds race to try to predict and control every scenario. However, the more we try to control, the more anxious we become, because we cannot control everything in life. Letting go of control means accepting that we cannot always dictate how things unfold. It's about acknowledging that uncertainty is a natural part of life and learning to live with it. When we stop trying to micromanage every detail, we reduce the mental strain and allow ourselves to experience peace in the present moment. This shift involves trusting that life will unfold as it should, and that we can adapt to whatever comes. Instead of spending energy on controlling what is beyond our reach, we focus on what we can influence, our responses and actions. By focusing on what we can control, such as our mindset and actions, we stop wasting energy on things that are out of our hands. Letting go also means accepting that mistakes and failures are part of the journey. Instead of fearing them, we can view them as opportunities for growth. When we stop clinging to the need for perfection or certainty, we free ourselves from the constant worry of not meeting expectations. By embracing uncertainty and letting go of control, we create room for flexibility, resilience, and peace. We stop trying to force outcomes and instead allow life to unfold naturally with all its unpredictability. This mindset shift helps break the cycle of worry and fosters a sense of calm and confidence. In conclusion, breaking free from the worry cycle requires a conscious effort to embrace the present, accept uncertainty, and shift our mindset. By becoming aware of our thoughts, practicing mindfulness, embracing self-compassion, and letting go of the need for control, we can regain our inner peace. Each step encourages us to release the grip of fear and anxiety, allowing us to experience life with clarity and calm. As we let go of unnecessary worries, we create space for growth, resilience, and joy, ultimately living more fully in the moment and trusting ourselves to handle whatever comes our way.